Do you smell that? Not that. Excuse me. What I was actually trying to talk to you about is that new Forbidden List smell. Makes Squamata proud. What is going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope your day is going phenomenal, and if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. Speaking of days, it was finally time for us to get our first Forbidden List in the TCG for 2022. The February 2022 Forbidden List changes so much in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, the entire meta is on its head. So today, of course, we are going to be talking about the initial best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! These strategies have the opportunity to take over the entire meta and become the new top dogs. This is an amazing time to be able to play the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG card game, as not only is the meta undefined, there are so many opportunities for you to make an impact because the meta is undefined. But I know one thing that is in high definition, it is these TheCaliEffect shirts. You can go ahead and buy your merch at TheCaliEffect.com. I got shirts, I got mats, I got sleeves. We slanging them things out there, and boy, you are going to love them. But enough of my shameless plug, let's actually start talking about the initial best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Post the February 2022 Forbidden List. The first strategy, I gotta say, if you are striking the sky, then hey, it got better because of the Forbidden List banning certain cards and not necessarily the Forbidden List. Sky Striker is an amazing Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck, and because Imperial Order did get banned, you don't have to worry about losing to Imperial Order, forehead. Come on. IO is easily the bane of a Sky Striker player's existence. If they didn't have the out to this card, well, I mean, it's simply just an FTK. And now that this card is on the Forbidden List, Sky Strikers can freely use their spell cards, some of the most busted spell cards in the game, like Widow Anchor and Shark Cannon, not only being able to snatch your opponent's monsters disrespectfully, also being able to negate a monster on the field or banish a monster in the graveyard. I really do think that the Sky Striker strategy just got better because of not only the Imperial Order ban, but also because of Arch Nemesis Protos. Sky Striker is a deck that does play Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer and does it really well, being able to use this effect to get himself off of the field so you can use your Sky Striker spell cards, but also being another way to be able to out some of those problematic cards your opponent can place on the side of the field, as well as a huge body and very easy to summon. With this particular Protos ban, not only can your opponent not summon Protos in Cold Dark, preventing you from summoning Ray or Phoenix Enforcer back to your side of the field, Sky Striker actually does have really good ways to manipulate your opponent's DPE, that's Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer for the people that don't know, preventing it from being summoned and using its effect through the cards that I just said before, which was Widow Anchor and Shark Cannon. Sky Striker got a lot better in this Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, and you're gonna have to deal with it possibly for another 2 more years. 2 more years ain't gonna hurt you, right? It really shouldn't hurt you because this strategy has been a strategy for over 5 years. Phantom Knights are incredible right now, and let's actually look away from Arch Nemesis Protos being banned, even though that's extremely helpful. The reason why Phantom Knights are an initial top meta deck is because of the Grand Creator set. The Adventure Token strategy is allowing Phantom Knights to be able to make a negation before they even commit their normal summon. Wandering Griffin is a monster that not only provides a free negation to the side of the field, the whole Brave Token engine is free from the Phantom Knight strategy. Who's gonna use their normal summoned effect? What kind of restriction is that? Now, if I were to intervene in the presence of improper Cali, I would have to say that using a normal summon effect like Tour Guide is rather arduous when we can have a free negation before we commit our normal summon. The Phantom Knight strategy is definitely evolving, and the loss of Fusion Destiny doesn't really hurt it anyways, as it was going to make Predaplant Vert Anaconda with the 2 free monsters it put on the side of the field at the end of its sequence to be able to summon Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer. There's also not losing Artifact Scythe or Artifact Dagda that genuinely helps the Phantom Knight strategy, being able to lock you from special summoning from your extra deck while doing everything else plus more from Grand Creators. Now, Grand Creators does sound like a pretty cool set, but I mean, Great Creators would have been a better naming set. And as we already know, fire is the creation of everything, so Salamangreat should definitely have gotten support in that set. but it don't really need it. It's already a deck that is an initial tier 1 deck, and let me explain to you why. I can't forget to mention that this is another strategy that gets infinitely better with Arch Nemesis Protos being banned, but on top of that, Salamangreat puts itself in a really comfortable situation depending on how the format develops. Let's say, for example, those slow tempo decks like Floowandereeze, Eldritch, and Sky Striker start to become really big in the meta. Well, if those particular decks start to become really powerful, then players will play less Nibiru. Salamangreat hates Nibiru. If no one is smelling what the rock is cooking, then Salamangreat can actually make some incredible boards. Not only having access to Salamangreat Rage and Roar, being able to destroy those back row heavy decks' most important cards or negate their most important effect before they can follow through, it also is a deck that can play extremely well with Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say that Pot of Desires, it's been a long day without you, my friend. Pot of Desires was like a big brother to me, dog. It was like a big brother to me. Losing Pot of Desires for Salamangreat players does suck, unless you are already playing Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer, and the cool thing about this card is that you can summon it under Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf on any given turn to be able to recur fire monsters from your graveyard to your hand. Now, Fusion Destiny did take a hit, which is a hit to Salamangreat, and also Pot of Desire, so that's 2 hits to Salamangreat. But we got Salamangreat Circle to 2 off the Forbidden List, so you can say things are starting to come full circle when you look at the Salamangreat strategy. Now, I really want to put a huge emphasis that Salamangreat can be a top contender, but it's really dependent on what type of meta we'll be in. If we just so happen to get a meta that is Nibiru-less and control heavy, boy, Salamangreat can run the tables. And if you want to see what a Salamangreat deck profile would look like in this particular meta, well, be sure to let your big dog know. I might even hook you up. And I feel like I'm picking on this strategy because the other 3 strategies got better, but this is genuinely still one of the best strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you happen to bought a case or bought these cards from Burst of Destiny, I would be happy to tell you that Sword's Hole is still one of the better strategies. Not only is it getting support from the new upcoming Battles of Chaos set, it's still a deck that lost some of the most important pieces to the strategy and is still amazing. Yes, not being able to search a Protos and declare an attribute for a free win does suck, and also losing Pot of Desires may not help the deck's consistency, but it didn't really need the extra consistency to begin with. Not only can you make Shishao, which allows you to search and negate a monster effect, you can still make Baron de Fleur to omni-negate any monster spell or trap. The Sword Soul strategy is still amazing, and even though this Forbidden List kind of targeted it a bit, it's still losing those cards is a testament to how powerful this deck is, because it can still make those 1-card synchros. Now, this last slot was really tough to fit in, mainly because I think that there are some amazing decks in the card game right now. Lara Lusk, Tri-Brigade, Invoke Dogmatica, Prank Kids, those are just to name a few that won't make this list, but those decks are still amazing, especially Prank Kids getting support in Grand Creators just like Phantom Knight. Now, I really did want it to say Eldritch was that last and 5th and final deck because Skill Drain kind of puts this deck over the top. But then looking at Imperial Order being banned, I really don't want to get hit with a Lightning Storm too many times as an Eldritch player, but I just so happen to know a deck that can play Skill Drain and Zombie World, just like how an Eldritch player could play them, but actually a little bit better. Virtual World is my last pick for the initial best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, and it's fairly simple. This deck only got stronger. Yes, I will give you losing Pot of Desires all the way to 1. That completely sucks. But what you gain from what you lost is, this deck's good. This deck can still make a card that just about every deck fears in Virtual World QB Shinshin, banishing everything on the field, which Virtual World does not care about because those banished cards can come right back, and is one of the few strategies that can make some really powerful monsters that players are sleeping on. Invoked Kaliga prevents the opponent from activating multiple monster effects at once. Last time I checked, this was Yu-Gi-Oh! Based off of monsters, not spells and traps. But if you wanted to put a little spice in it, this deck can also make Red Eyes Dark Dragoon without having to use Dark Magician and Red Eyes in the main deck. Virtual World can also play Skill Drain as every single one of your Virtual World monsters either activate and resolve in the hand or graveyard, and can also play Zombie World because making Beatrice Lady of the Eternal to send a Necro Banshee from your deck to the graveyard makes Zombie World live. Virtual World has so many ways to make cracked boards, and with Emergency Teleport coming off the Forbidden List to 3, boy, it just got a little better. And that is all that I have for the initial top decks inside of this format. I want to know, what do you think about these particular decks? Are there some strategies that I missed? And I'm extremely excited for the new Battles of Chaos set to cement its place and change the Yu-Gi-Oh meta again. Possibly even flew under Reese in the top meta, because birds are too strong. If you want to see more amazing CaliEffect content, go ahead and check out these videos, as I'll catch you on the next one.